All right, my beautiful friends, I am back. It is Saturday, June 22nd, 2019. Thank all of you sincerely for all of your notes of concern. I did miss my post-market wrap-up yesterday. I honestly felt awful. The day before, I just started to feel a little bit under the weather. I got my video out yesterday, the morning one, and then like a ton of bricks fell on me, and I was just done for the day. It's the truth. Anyway, I'm feeling a little better today. Again, thank all of you for your concern. Let's get back on track here. I want to cover a bunch of things with you, and as always, if this is interesting or enlightening, please share this video. Let's talk about these markets. It's been a pretty epic couple of weeks. No surprise to any of you, not one, that follow my blog. I've been doing these markets a look ahead segment for the past several weeks and explaining to you the market's going to continue higher in this environment. And that's exactly what I'm here to tell you again. I'm going to tell you that again. And let me put a little perspective on that too. We just got yet another round of completely, absolutely off the Richter scale, abysmal economic news. The U.S. Factory Manufacturing Index just hit a 9-year low. Now, in this environment, the worse the economic news we get, and we haven't had a single round, not one, of good economic news, and as far back as I can remember, the worse it is, the higher the stock market is going to go. Again, there's a complete disconnect between reality and the stock market. The Federal Reserve, good cop, bad cop, is over. They're both good cops now, referring to the president and Jay Powell, or the Federal Reserve as a whole. And it's not just the Federal Reserve. It's the European Central Bank, world central banks. All of them are about to, I've been saying this, go nuclear, meaning they're going to support this market. Forget about any kind of a dip. Let me put another perspective on this for you. I'm going to go off the deep end here in this video, I can tell you right now. If President Trump would have followed through with his strikes on Iran, let me tell you how this would have played out. Yeah, the market would have took a little dip, but it would have vaulted higher right after that. Why? Should be obvious. Central banks are going to backstop everything. It would push crude oil higher. If crude oil goes up, the energy sector goes up, the financial sector goes up, stocks go up. Nothing is going to get in the way of this market right now because of the action of world central banks. Let me talk about a side effect here of what world central banks are going to do and are about to do. Look at Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin is over $11,000. Again, this is no surprise to any of you that follow this blog. At 3,500, at Bitcoin 3,500, the guy you are looking at said it was a buy. I said it was going to 10,000. We passed 10,000 yesterday. Now we're at 11,000. Gold and silver are going to continue to march higher here, although keep in mind, and I'm going to cover this briefly so you have an understanding. The price action of gold and silver has no reflection whatsoever on reality. And I'm going to explain to you why. The hard asset gold, silver, these are deriving value from the derivative. Think about what I just said. The hard assets are being priced off of what the derivative is doing. This is completely the opposite way of how it's supposed to go. Generally, a derivative derives value from the hard asset, but not in this environment. In this environment, it's upside down, and it's being done like that on purpose. So good. Let them play their games. Let them dump the paper derivative onto the market, which affects the physical price. Good. Central banks around the world have no choice, zero, except to go nuclear, light up, prop everything up to the nth degree. And I can tell you something else. Did you hear the president this morning? The president, the first thing he said is he's touting the stock market. Look at the stock market. Record highs, looking good. He is going to make sure this continues. Believe me, Don't bet against this market. I did an entire video this week about if you short this market, you are committing financial suicide. It's the truth. It's not real. It's totally distorted. It has no bearing on reality with regard to the economy. But our president believes that if the stock market is going higher, no. Our president believes that if you see the stock market going higher, that means our economy is booming. Nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing. Let's move forward a little more. The yield curve. We have no yield curve. The long end of the curve is going to continue to drop despite whatever action world central banks are going to take to keep rates suppressed. And I explained to you, when they announce a rate cut in July, it's a lock. It is a lock now, and that's why stocks are going to continue to move higher, especially after this latest abysmal piece of economic news. The U.S. Factory Manufacturing Index, 9-year low. I didn't hear our president talk about that. He won't. He can't tell you that. He has to tell you, look here. Don't look here. He won't talk about the bond market. This morning again, he explained to you how we're taking in billions of dollars from the tariffs. It's a complete lie. It is an absolute lie. If you offset what we are losing because of the trade deficit, we're losing hundreds of billions. But you're not supposed to know that either. Look, all of our politicians, and I'm not just picking on the president, believe that you are a sub-moron. I happen to know that you are not a sub-moron, and you're paying attention to what's going on here. People, look, we are, despite what world central banks are doing, going to do, in fact, it should demonstrate to you that we are headed towards a financial cataclysm. And they are deliberately inflating here, and they're going to light up, go nuclear, because they have no choice. They're refusing to allow the market to do its one and only job, and that is to determine fair value. The markets have been taken over right now. We have no free market. We have no free market economy. The United States has already become a socialist nation. We're subsidizing everything. So forget about the right-left paradigm. If you're still locked into that, oh no, we're going to go socialist. We're socialists now, okay? Again, but a lot of people are still blind. They don't see it. They're not being allowed to see it. They're not being told the truth. And they won't be. People have been strung along way too long. The dumbing down process is complete. And I don't believe that those people that have been dumbed down already can become any more dumb than they actually are. We've bottomed out there. So the only place they can go is up. Let's hope. I really think we've hit a bottoming process with regard to dumbing down. And there are more people waking up to the fact that everything around us is not real. It's a distortion of epic proportions that is about to get much, much worse. So with that said, stocks are going higher. Higher and higher. I am not saying that the market is going to take a little dip here or there. If it does, buy it, because it's going up. Even if there's another false flag event. Let's say, and I believe this is going to happen, there's going to be some other event in the Middle East, engineered, of course, to keep crude oil propped up. Yeah, stock market might take a little dip, but it's going up. Why? World central banks are about to fire their very last salvos at this entire thing to make sure it stays higher through the election cycle. That's it. That's where we are at. Bet against the debt. Become your own central bank. I wrote an article recently on Steam, and I said, hold gold, hold silver, and I said, hold cryptocurrencies. Look, there is no doubt in my mind, at least at this point, with the action of world central banks, that we're going to see cryptocurrencies gain. I'm not saying they're going to continue to go up in a straight line either. Nothing does. But the trend for all of these things is up. So forget about deflation. Everything is hyperinflating right now. Nothing's deflating. So at one particular time, the currency itself is going to light up. and become nearly worthless, because world central banks, again, what they're going to do is add digits to a screen in epic amounts, diluting the value of the currency. The middle class is going to be decimated at the end of this entire thing. It's so simple. It's so easy to understand where we're going, what they're going to do, and more importantly, I think for us, how to beat it, how to capitalize on it. It's the truth. All right. With that said, I'm going to let you all go. I hope this has been interesting for you. And if some of these things don't make sense, just watch the video again. It's free. Anyway, this guy does love you a hell of a lot. It's true. And I will see you on Monday. Let's see what the next thing to happen is. Going to be interesting.